Hey everybody, I'm Brian with Easy Retriever Training, and today we're going to talk about 4 activities that you can do with your dog that will not only exercise them physically, but also engage their minds. And we're also going to go over 3 or 4 guidelines to make sure that your playtime with your dog is as productive as possible. But before we get to the games and the guidelines, make sure that you hit the little subscribe bell down below. Make sure you have it set up so that you get notifications every time I send one of these videos out. All right, with that, now that you've subscribed and we're ready to go, let's jump to the games. Okay, everybody. So the first game we're going to talk about is hide and seek. This is without question the most common dog game or exercise, especially for retrievers and other dogs that are known for using their noses. And the way I teach my dog hide and seek is I just get some kind of a high value treat. Today I'm just using cut up raw hot dogs. I'm going to bring Odin in. I'll put the hot dog right in the middle of the floor, and then I'll give him the command hot dog. That's the signal. That's his command that we're playing this game. I'm going to use that over and over and over again to tell him, so that he starts to associate the command with the treat and the idea of searching to find it. Initially, we're just going to start with it kind of in the middle of the floor. After he's done that a couple of times, then we're going to hide it somewhere else in the house. You can also do this outside in the backyard. So I'm actually going to we're going to go out back and do this with Odin out in the yard. And then progressively move from the middle of the yard to the side of the flower bed to hiding it under a bush, and just kind of progressively make it more and more difficult for him until I can then go hide it in the back, take him around front, and then have him go ripping around searching for the reward. Now there's 2 big benefits to this and why it's so popular. Number 1, the fact that your dog is getting some physical exercise. By the time he figures out what he's looking for, he's going to be tearing through your backyard. So if you are starting in the house, you're going to want to transition him to outside as fast as possible because he is going to start ripping around, and eventually what you want to do is make it so that it becomes more and more difficult. Make him run farther, so eventually get him to where he's starting in the front yard and racing around to the backyard to find the treat. And then he's going to run around until he finds it. The other benefit for this is that it's forcing him to use his smelling senses. It's going to force him to engage the mind and go into that search drive, the prey drive that most retrievers have. So let's go out in the backyard and I'll show you what this looks like. All right, so I'm going to leave the hot dog there. I'm going to go get Odin. I'm going to bring him out on a leash. I think you really want your puppy on a leash, because you don't want to give the command until you know that the dog has found the hot dog and he's going for it. If you give the command and he goes and does something else, you can confuse that, and it'll take the association. It'll take the dog longer to make that association. So wait until you know he's kind of pinned in on that. You can watch when I bring Odin out. You'll know it becomes pretty obvious when he knows what he's looking for, knows what he's found. So let me go get Odin. I'll be right back. Okay, I'm actually going to let him smell the hot dog a couple times so he knows that it's there, before I actually let him go get it. Hey. Good. All right, come here. You smell it? Good. Yeah, now he knows it's there for sure. Good boy, Ode, come here. Good boy, okay. Hot dog. Good boy, yes, good boy. Hot dog. Good boy, all right. Okay, so now we've done it a couple times. Yeah, another one of the benefits of this is if you're doing it right in front of him like I am, when it's a high value treat, it really forces your dog to pay attention to you. It engages that mind and those obedience skills. It reinforces those things you've been trying to teach him. So now we're just going to move it over to the edge and make him search a little bit more for it. Okay, come on, Ode. Good. Hot dog. Good boy. All right. Okay, so the next thing we're going to do in this is I'm now going to keep him in the kennel and not let him see where I put it down. Still put it on kind of the edge so he can find it quickly. I'm also going to pay attention to the wind. The wind's blowing across this way, so I'll probably have to do this somewhere over on this other side of the yard so that he can get a whiff and the wind helps him and doesn't hurt him. So, all right, come on, Ode. Hot dog. Good boy. Hot dog. Hot dog. All right, so that's what it looks like when that's how I teach my dogs how to play hide and seek. Oh. And you can kind of see why they call this a flirt pole. And the thing I like about it is my dog gets a ton of exercise and I don't have to go everywhere. And at some point with a young dog, usually you've got to let him get it. Let it get kind of close. Good boy. Good boy, Ode. Good boy. Uh-oh, hey, uh-oh. And you notice once he gets it, then his drive's cranked back up. Good. Good boy. Good boy, Ode. Good boy. Okay, so the next thing we want to introduce Odin to is this, the treat box or the puzzle box. I got this is a Nina Ottoson. I got it off of Chewy.com. It comes with these open canisters that the dogs, he's supposed to learn how to open this up. This should be interesting. A 6-month-old, 7-month-old Labrador. And I'm gonna have to be here right next to him as he does this because of, I don't want him ripping things off. I want him to learn how to be gentle with this. As soon as he gets too rough, I'm gonna take it away and just kind of emphasize the fact that when you roughhouse with this, you don't get to get it. Eventually it won't take him long and he'll figure that out. Odin, come here. Now the other thing you can use is, I like these Kong treats, or these Kong toys, filled with dog food. Notice how he just kind of rolls it around and it sprinkles out the treats for him. Again, this is another one of those exercises or activities that maybe doesn't exercise the legs nearly as much as it does the mind, but it definitely exercises the reward center. Okay, so let's talk about a couple of guidelines before we actually get into the activities. The first guideline is teach your puppy one skill or one layer at a time. Guideline number 2 has to do with keeping your dog safe, as well as making sure that he's making sure that he's doing the activity on your terms rather than on his own. And I think the easiest way to do this is just to keep a leash on him. The third guideline that we want to talk about is just making sure that you're minimizing distractions. Anytime you can eliminate extra people or extra noises, extra smells. And then the last guideline is just if you're using treats, make sure that it's a high value treat. So it can be as simple as a raw hot dog. I think for some of these things that you really want them to be excited and amped up about, I would say don't just use the typical dog food. Although that will still work, you'll capture his attention much quicker if you've got a high value treat or reward that he really gets amped up about.